Hey y'all. Okay, so I'm really doing my best to try to come back from that latest thing that happened. Like get my joy back or whatever. Um but like how dare these people be able to, paint a picture for anybody's opinion of anybody. Um like I guess, thinking back at it, it's like, well, I guess I kind of can't blame my son because you see what was happening on TV a couple years ago, and then he gets a chopper on him. Um, Now when I walked up, I was able to go pick him up where they had him. He's telling, I had mentioned this before, but he had said something about we saw a chopper and I mean whatever. But so when I went to pick him up, the third kid, is like sitting there, and he just seemed so little to me. I was like, y'all are in the same grade. But anyways, and I mean, it was kind of funny because he's like eating a chip, and he's like, the cop said something, and he's like, I told y'all I was just using the restroom. So, anyways, it could have been a coincidence. But here he was already telling me, you know, about having, trying to convince him not to go to those computer things, and then trying to, years ago, he remembered the conversation, but he doesn't really remember it now. Um, they help, like, so yeah, like at one point he's the preteen son telling me blank blank was a blank blank, and I was like, really? Like, you know? And these people don't want a working country or something. You hear so many cases about, oh, well, this person killed someone, and then when the trial comes, it's like they were accused of the R 4 times before that or whatever. Um, I mean, how many stories do people have to hear to know that these people don't care, and then to find out catch up is the video title to explain what happened to me down here to give somewhat a confirmation. And the reason why I titled it Catch Up, because I was like, wow, a lot of us must need to catch up, you know? And so, how dare these people make it out to be like that? And it affects people not to be able to go into those positions. So, when I look back at it, it's like, yes, I've gone through what I've gone through. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of people might have done a lot more than what I did, but I've done a lot more than what other people have done. At least some kind of school, after high school or whatever. Um, so it's kind of hard to tell which it could have been a lot worse. I know that the treatment that I've gotten from them probably could have been a lot worse. I know that, okay? I'll give them that, whatever. I don't know. But it's hard to tell if it's because of things that happened that I wasn't able, yeah. Because, like I said before, like at 19, it was like my family just started acting like they hated me. And yes, my dad doesn't deserve all this. But, yelling at him and saying, what did you do to help me? You kept me in there. Not go after the people that did me harm that I did make reports on, but then turn around and make me plead guilty to something that wasn't even mine, that I own and told them it wasn't mine. And I love my Christian neighbor lady. I love her. She's the only one that seems to want to kind of get it. And I told her one day, I said, I said, I don't think cops like honesty. And she's like, she paused a minute and she's like, I think you're right. And then to kind of like somewhat change the subject, but kind of on the same subject, like I had mentioned before about getting my lip busted. It's not funny, but I'm at the hospital and my dad takes me to the hospital and I'm holding the cloth on my dang lip on the inside. But anyways, and he's like, you're gonna, we're in front of the nurse and he's like, you're gonna press charges. And I was like, Dad, I've been trying to press charges for 10 years. And then they didn't even send me anything in the smaller town about the court date. They had the addresses, you know? Like, I didn't even see, and you're darn right I would have been there. You know? I would have. And then so when I called them, they're like, oh, sometimes you have to call it yourself. Even back then I knew it was bull crap. I said, I was the one pressing charges. You can't take him back to court. And I'm pretty sure I probably told them, y'all are sorry. And here I am, a young mom, and I'm telling my son, I'm like, look, I don't want you getting mixed up with certain people, but I want you to respect these cops, but what I see, they're not any better than the criminals. And I'm more mad at the cops than any criminals. Really? Like I said, it's wrong for them to be able to paint a picture for anybody to judge or anybody's opinion on someone. And the cop broke my bracelet. Yeah, it was only $1, but still. So now I'm wearing 3. Giving some music or something. So maybe they want to arrest me. Like, seriously, whatever. I'm just saying. But I'm tired of this mess. And then like for what we're going through, I mean, this is ridiculous. Who am I going to call? The governor? Who am I going to call? Because nobody seems, I don't know, you know? I had no idea where I was going to go at with all this, but, and I'm doing my best not to get selfish or jealous or anything. But I know I've talked about him before. I talked about my friend from high school where I think they kind of attacked him or whatever, you know? I mean, I hope all that wasn't some kind of setup and he's with him, but I don't think, you know, I had shared before that he had gotten pulled over and he made it a public video of when he got pulled over. And yeah, it's kind of funny. The cop was like, you're being rude, young man. And he's like, well, you don't know what all I've had to go through with y'all, you know? So I know someone, I mean, they're still here, but I'm just saying, I know a black man that's been attacked by them. Well, I would say kind of attacked from that experience that I saw, you know? But, and like with the anti-Masonic movement, there's kind of like some spaces. I mean, there's some gaps, and I'm trying to, you know, have tried to figure out and think about. But and that's what I'm going to return to. I'm going to try my best to return to that year that I was going to say that I was going to return to, because it kind of makes a lot of sense of the things that I've heard here and there. And then that one year when a lot of things happened. So I'm doing my best to return to that. But all this other extra stuff has happened, and that was just such a weird experience. And 2 videos back, I put the comments. In the comments, that's where I put mainly the story, but I'm still going to try to return to that. But I just wanted to do a quick video to point out these few things like that. And I'm eventually going to talk about this other story. I mean, it's kind of hearsay or whatever, but it'll be a story, you know, to speak about. But didn't know I was going to go all over the place with that. But I started thinking about how, you know, these people can paint a picture for anybody to see, you know. And of course I'm not happy, like, and everything or whatever what's going on. And I don't think I'd ever would really say that I don't believe something. But this time I am, even with my senses, you know. But yeah, I'm going to try to eventually get to those other things too. About a little bit of the senses and stuff that had happened in the last few years or whatever. A lot of the things I was going to return to. But I'm just going to do this quick video to say all that, you know. But God bless. I'll see y'all soon.